on too long. I'm on a lunch break right now. I've been working remote because my windshield's all jacked up. I got a big old crack running right through my windshield. Thank you, hailstorm. Fortunately, I backed my truck in, and because my driveway is at like a 30-degree angle, it's like a really steep driveway. My truck was positioned so that the hail, the direction it was coming from, hit the side and top, but it did not. And some hit the windshield, but it didn't hit it square. It hit it at an angle. So I think a lot of the hail was hitting and like deflecting off. It did crack a couple of places, so it's going to have to get replaced. But yeah, so for those of you who didn't realize, so today is the 3rd of June, 2024. The Berkshire Hathaway Class A stock, I think it's like a mutual fund. I have to look again. Normally runs for $633,000 a share, and what it is an agglomeration of a bunch of other stuff. Hey, farmer, what's going on? Hello, hello. I'm gonna have to move my phone because it's getting overheated there. I can already tell. In any case, it lost 94% of its value today, y'all. Hey, Holly. Now, when I say 94, 97%, it literally went to about a few $100 a share from 600,000 a share. It was absolutely insane. Hey, book club. Hey, skydive. And it was like, what the hell? So if you happen to buy it for the 10 or minutes or an hour that it had gone down before the fail safes turned it off, because the stock market has things like this. If you bought $500 of shares when it hit the bottom and you still had them right now, they'd be worth $2 million. So they're saying it was a technical glitch in NASDAQ, which is very possible, right? Because it's computer, shit happens. Somebody put in sell 0.3% and instead they sold 97%, whatever. But hey, grandma, hey, farmer again, and book club, Holly. But what makes me wonder is, remember during that, I'm going to move the phone before it overheats. Remember during 9/11, how a bunch of the airline stocks cratered, and there was speculation that people overseas, especially in the Middle East, knew certain stocks were going to take a dump. And as soon as 9/11 happened, there was a lot of trades on certain stocks that had taken a nosedive and were being bought at the bottom, or they were being sold as they came up. It was really weird. Hey, Dan. Hey, All-American. So anyway, the Berkshire Hathaway, you can look them up. They actually dropped like 97% in the course of less than an hour. And they stopped trading on that stock. But my my mind, the way me and my tinfoil hat, I'm sitting here thinking it could have been a cyber attack or a financial hack. Now, hear me out here. And this is just me thinking out loud, right? If I wanted to make a lot of money, I'd short Berkshire Hathaway, right? So let's say, for those of you unfamiliar, and let me see if I explain it right, because I know enough to be dangerous. If I short a stock, what I do, I go to a broker who owns all these stocks, and I say, I want to borrow for a fee 1,000 shares of whatever, Berkshire Hathaway, right? He gives me 1,000, and I agree to pay a fee when I give that back to him in 6 months, within 6 months, 6 weeks, whatever the term is. So I get the Berkshire Hathaway stock at, say, 600,000 a share, and I sell them immediately. Now, what they call shorting is you are convinced the stock's going to drop. Now, if it goes up, you're screwed. So you sell the stock, and now you have all the money. The idea is, if the stock takes a shit, you now buy back the same stock at the cheaper rate, give the stock back to the broker, give them their fee, but the difference you keep. You kind of see what I'm saying here? So you borrow it and sell it immediately with the belief that it's going to dive. When it dives, you buy all the shares back and return that same quantity of shares to the broker, but you keep the difference and they get a fee. So imagine if $500 could become $2 million. Imagine if you borrowed What is that? Geez, that's almost a factor of 5,000. That's what, 3 orders of magnitude, 4 orders of magnitude. So think about that for a second. If somebody had borrowed $2 million in Berkshire shares, how much would they be getting? They'd be getting tens or if not hundreds of millions, all from a weird hack. And it makes you wonder. I'd love to see the volume of trade because they shut it down, but you don't have to get it at the bottom, right? If the stock's trading at 1,000 and it starts taking a dive, you don't wait till all the safety gets triggered and they're like, oh, we're going to freeze the stock, something's wrong. No, you buy it at 1,000, you sell them, and then you wait till it hits like 400 and buy them back before they shut it down. And if you could do it quick enough, man, you're sitting there on all this money, and you pay your fee and you walk away with the difference. And it just blows my mind that this shit happens. But it makes you wonder. It also, oh, hold on a second. It also makes you wonder if worse things could be done. Now, if it was a hack like Russians or someone, I would think they would have gone after everything. Hey, Joe, welcome. I would think they would have gone after everything, right? They would have cratered the market unless it was a test. But I would have tested it on a smaller stock, right? I would have tested it on some like bumblefuck stock that was $50 a share, because nobody will notice that. They'll be like, oh, technical issue with the small stock. Berkshire Hathaway is a big company. A lot of people watch those stocks. So when something like that takes a dive, everyone pays attention very quickly. So I think this was either a glitch, or someone knew there would be a glitch and they bought 6 months ago and just sat on it, and then when it started to dive, they sold, and then they said, oh, well, I've had the stock for 6 months. I mean, I saw it go down, I sold it, and I made money, right? And then you kind of got deniability, because I wouldn't buy it like the day before and then sell it, because everyone would be like, wait a minute, you just bought like $5 million of this shit and you just made $100 million. What the hell? I'd have bought it months ago and just waited for it. Again, I could be wrong, but think about it. If you just had $500 and you bought that Berkshire share before they shut it down, now they've reopened it at the correct number, you would have over $2 million. And even if you sold it, right, because you have to hold a stock for a whole year. I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. Yeah, and everyone's getting sick now too. I don't know what's going on. Everyone's sinuses are fucked up or something. But yeah, think about that. So if some Saudi prince was shorting this, or some, I don't know, Hamas affiliate sitting there in his hotel in Dubai, his bougie hotel, he just made like $100 million. It's just weird. Every time I see stuff like that and they're like, oh, it's just a glitch, I'm like, somebody could have made a boatload of money, like hundreds of millions, if not billions. Because think about it, it's 600,000 a share. You get 10,000 shares, that's a lot of money, right? And if you bought them, you sold them, and then you got them all back when they were half the price, you literally made bank. Like, you could retire. At that point, you talk about living off grid. I'd be like, bye. The roaming prepper from his remote location in Pango somewhere. I'd be gone, y'all. I'd be like in a mountain retreat somewhere if I won $200 million. You kidding me? Shit. I wouldn't be out in this Texas desert dealing with all this shit. But I love Texas, but I'd be in the mountains in Texas or somewhere else, not here. But yeah, hey, KP, just something to think about. But surprisingly, the world didn't end. They have fail-safes in the computers, so when stocks act that squirrely, they kind of stop everyone from freaking out, which is a good thing, because people freaking out is 90% of the problems. During hurricanes, during storms, during stock market collapses, the money goes away, it goes away. You can make more money at some point. It's always people freaking out that cause all the harm. Yeah, it does, book club. It spreads really fast. Hey, Daryl. So just a little tidbit, and for those of you who aren't familiar with how certain shorting of stocks work, that's how it works. You borrow the stock from someone who owns it. Under an agreement, you get to hold on to it for like 6 months or whatever period of time, and you will give them back the same number of stocks plus a fee. And the trick is, you're assuming the stock's going to take a dive, and you're going to buy all, like if you get 1,000 shares, you're going to buy all the 1,000 shares at half the price you sold them for. Then you give the stocks back to the original guy with his fee. It's a percentage, I guess, and you keep the rest. Like, people make millions every week doing this shit. But when you screw it up and it goes the other way, companies have folded up for that shit. So yeah, it's dangerous. Like, you could lose your house and everything if you're not right. But yeah, it's just really weird how you've got all this stuff about the Trump trial, and the stock market's doing squirrely shit, and Ukraine's finally getting F-16s, and they said that they can use them to attack Russian bases in Russia, which Russia's not going to like. It's just, hey, Canadian, they've got everyone focused on this bullshit trial, like I said the other day, and there's squirrely shit going on elsewhere, and nobody's paying attention to it, But right now, it seems like food prices have flattened out. It also seems like I'm seeing gas prices are leveled off. They may even drop a little bit because OPEC's kind of in negotiations as to how to produce. And normally, gas goes up in the summer because people go on vacation, right? It's not magic. It's just people have time off. Kids are home from school and the family goes away. So factor those things in. If you're going to top off your gas for storage or whatever, now's a good time. You're going to make a road trip. A lot of people can't afford hotels. I actually, on this last little weekend trip, I got a very nice hotel for $90 a night, normally $275 a night. And because I watch the hotels and I know right now they're all hurting, so they're making deals. If you stay more than a couple of nights, you get this really discounted rate. So if you're going to make a trip, now's a good time to do it. And look for deals. I'm seeing weird sales. Wallaby had the Mylar at 40% off, which is even better than my roaming 10 discount. But I don't know how long that's going to last. So if you need Mylar, just go to the website and see if you can get that. Augustin Farms had a sale, but I don't know where. Somebody told me Augustin Farms is on sale, and then they didn't tell me where. And I texted them where, and then I never got a reply. So somewhere Augustin Farms is on sale. ReadyWise has the new 72-hour kits out. I don't know if they're on sale though. I'm trying to think of what else is on sale. Harbor Freight had little jackeries for $160. Normally they're $250. So if you need one or you've been putting one off now, it's about 40% off. So you may want to check. Shorting silver is an inside job. The Treasury, aka U.S. Mint and Bank, might be screwed up a couple of times. And Gerald, yeah, possibly. Shorting, got 3 cruises booked between now and April. Yeah, if you can get the deals, that's great. I'm not going no further than my home than I can walk in one day. Yeah, no, that's fair. When I do make trips, because of the company I work for and the people I know, my friends, I actually, in most big cities, I have at least 1 or 2 places I can go, at least for the night, to fill up my fuel, fill up water, get a night's rest, a cup of coffee, and figure out what I'm going to do next. So if you travel a lot, you may want to have a place where, like a landing strip, that I can go to this friend's house for the overnight. Don't sit there and impose on them. I can handle being stranded in the Caribbean. It depends where in the Caribbean, because I've been to the Caribbean, and there's some places that are like, no, hold on, I don't like that shit. But anyway, folks, watch the markets. The markets are doing squirrely shit. Ukraine's all screwed up, and Hamas is all screwed up. They can all kiss my ass. I don't even know. I've become numb to the people fighting in the streets over Israel and Palestine at this point. It's just like, you guys are not, they're not paying attention to what's actually going on behind the scenes, right? Because the companies are making money. I don't go to the shitty islands. No, I made the mistake of going to a shitty island. That was not cool. Or I went to a part of a nice island that was shitty. Let me put it like that. Um, but I've also done mission trips there where everyone was poor. And I'll tell you what, I felt safer in the really poor areas in those countries as a translator for the doctors than I would as a tourist in a big city in like San Juan or Havana or something like that. Like, because you're there helping the locals and they watch out for you. They're like, oh, you help our children. They keep an eye on us when we're there. Like the cops, everyone in the neighborhood, they're like, we don't fuck with the doctors and the translators because they came here for our kids. And we fall into a whole new... Now, they'll go and screw with the tourists, but not us. So that's always a good thing, by the way. Speaking the language helps, too, immensely. Of course, in that part of Belize, they were speaking Mayan and Aztec. Like, literally, there was a priest that came down, and he spoke Spanish to me. I spoke English to the doctors. And then I went back to Spanish to talk to him. And then he turns around to the people and does this language that I've never heard before. And I asked the other guy, I was like, what the hell did he just fucking say? And he said, that's the native, like a Mayan dialect that they still use in the mountains. I need to learn that dialect. Then I can like teach my granddaughter and we can talk shit about people and nobody'd know what we were talking about. You know, I go to my granddaughter and be like, about some stupid person and make her laugh. Nobody'd know what I was saying. So learn an ancient language and nobody knows and teach it to the people you like. Then you guys can communicate secret. But anyway, hold on. I'm having a bit of an issue here with the chat. Haven't got much out lately. Hey, dude. Company's still doing that vax mandate to make... No, actually, dude, most of the companies didn't. Even mine, they said it's recommended by the CDC. It is not required. If you were sick, you stayed at home. That was basically the company policy for my company. Now, they said there were certain projects that the company we were working for required it. And then they said, you know, there was an email went out to whoever was on those projects saying you can switch projects. If you want to do the project, we will cover any medical effects of any vaccines that you took on behalf of the company to go to work and do whatever. So at least the company stepped up and said, hey, if the vaccine you're allergic or it gives you whatever the fuck and you do get sick, you're covered under our medical for any side effects while you're with us. And so, but most companies didn't do that. They basically fired people, which was chicken shit in my opinion. But I'm going to clean a bathroom. There you go. Well, anyway, folks, I gotta run. I just wanted a little say hello during my lunch hour, but you guys be careful out there. A lot of weird news. Just try not to get lost in the noise and try to stay focused on the important stuff, because that's how we make progress. If we get distracted by stupid people in Washington and stupid people in other cities, I mean, it's fun to watch. I like seeing stupid people punch each other, but don't let that affect you. Pay attention to what's around you, and just understand how things can affect you from a distance, like the stock market, like the supply chain. Understanding that kind of directs the way you make your decisions. So anyway, folks, be good, be safe. I can catch you guys later on, and be safe out there. Pay attention. It's a lot of weird crime, so pay attention to that stuff. You guys take care. God bless.